Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Come on, guess. Everybody? Anybody? It's hump day here on UCY.tv. Just got done listening to Try This at Home with Dana. What an excellent show. What an excellent show. Superb addition to UCY.tv. Dana, you've got a thing going there that everybody needs to pay attention to because it is a wave of the future, I believe. It's the way people should have been bringing their kids up all along. Why turn them over to somebody else and let them teach your kid what's right and wrong when that's your responsibility to begin with as a parent? You agree, Lance?
It's no business of mine how somebody raises their kids as long as they're going to leave them locked up in their house for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
So, yes, I listened to her, too, and it was I had never heard her before, so it was nice. I listened
first
to
show. First
yeah.
show.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm all for homeschooling, but then I know a lot of them can't participate in different sports and stuff. So
well, I don't think this is that though. I don't think, I mean, from what I was listening to, I apologize, Dana. I only caught about the last half hour, but
I caught less than that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's homeschooling. I think it's different than that. It's unschooling.
Oh, well, I can't wait to tune in next week and find out.
Yeah, me too. Catch the whole thing. And then archives.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be on her page there at UCY. Okay, so everybody knows that you're here. How's everything going on the East Coast, man? You digging that 6 inches of snow?
We are. Can't complain.
Oh my God! Did you see Atlanta though? I mean, everybody around Georgia and oh my God, they were all bitching. Oh, it's the end of the freaking world. They were leaving their cars on the interstate, dude. Oh my! You saw the pictures? I know you did.
It was piss poor planning because
they had days of notice. They had days, and
they should have.
Sheeple.
They should have never have gone to school that day. They shouldn't have gone to work that day.
People gave me shit when I said that about Katrina too. Those people had over a week of warning that storm was coming. Mm-hmm. But, I caught a lot of flack for that.
Anyway. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I watched all the gridlock. Those people were in their cars from 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon.
Stupid.
Until today. And how many of them do you think had their emergency road cut? If they would have listened to your station about a month ago, they would have known.
Yeah. Did you guys have your bucket? Did you have your bucket with the goodie bars and the water? And no.
I'll bet a few of them did.
Mike Bettis from Weather Channel was tweeting all day, this morning as he was walking into work from his house.
I saw it.
Several miles he walked and tweeted pictures along the way. He was like, you could tell what he was thinking. He wasn't tweeting what he was thinking, but you could tell what he was thinking. You stupid people.
We had some local company that does ice sculptures. Did an ice desk for one of the local news channels. So they were doing their newscast from out in the snow at the ice desk. So it was live from the ice desk.
Right on.
But, it's lovely. I mean, we don't get it here enough, and now it's the third time this year already.
I saw this one picture on Facebook. It was too funny, dude. It was like, it was a meme, right? And all it was a picture of feet in flip-flops with socks, right? He had the little toe jam thing going on. Mm-hmm. And it said, time for Floridians to break out the winter weather clothes.
Socks on the flip-flops.
Yeah, socks under the flip-flops. That was cool.
That's funny.
All right, let's jump into it, man. We're Boiler Room Radio, so we got to do the Smoke'em's Market Minute. What's going on Wall Street, man? It dropped 100 plus. Almost 200 today, right?
Where to even start,
You sent me the thing this morning, the economic report that was up.
Yeah. And guess what? It ended up, in fact, bonds ended up, 2.68%. That's where they stopped. So it was up about 16 basis points or something.
Yeah, Mandarino went in.
Mm-hmm. But it's, interesting. Disappointing earnings. from the emerging markets, as well as further reduction in the Federal Reserve economic stimulus, because, they backed off another $10 billion a month.
Right.
And, who really
getting that?
Yeah, who really even thinks that that's real? Because now they've cut it down $20 billion in a month and a half. So who do they think's buying them? Nobody. So, who are they fooling?
Stagnant on the market?
They are fooling the sheeple for sure. The Standard & Poor, S&P is down to another 20 points. The Dow is down, NASDAQ was down. So all of those markets did not react to the Feds. Apparently this was what they were reacting to, the foreign markets, not the Fed cuts. Everybody knows the Fed cuts were coming, so that wouldn't have had anything. It was already built in the weeks leading up to it. But they're not seeing what they say enough bad news to stop the process. So, they got to look at it as positive.
And?
Well, the problem with a bubble is that they force one to decide whether to look like an idiot before the peak or an idiot after the peak. That's the thing with the bubble. So is everybody going to stay in until it's too late, or are they going to try to cash out now, which is what everybody is telling them.
They're going to cash out.
Boy, I hope so. Well, the
Manarino's still a bull. He thinks it's going back up.
The big boys are cashing out. That's for sure. The big boys they are cashing out. You already know the smart money's out of the market. The only thing in the money is the dumb money.
Sorry, I was typing something.
No problem. So, Manarino did have a good one today.
Yep. It was short too, actually.
It was. It was less than 6 minutes, or right at 6 minutes.
Yep.
He could say what I would say, and much more eloquent than I can. So, if you definitely want to play him.
Yeah, we'll give Scott his 2 minutes, and then we'll go to Manarino.
Mm-hmm.
That's the order I've chosen.
Yeah, I like Scott. He's always good.
Yep.
So I don't think anything from the State of the Union address spooked it.
Sorry.
Which we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But I don't think anything in there spooked the markets. Everybody knew that it's funny.
They all were standing up there with a great big roll of Charmin to wipe his mouth when he was done. Anyway, we'll get into that here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not get off on tangents quite yet.
No, and the lira one is a good story right now too, which is keeping in the financial thing. The Turkish lira, I'm sorry,
yep.
Has been at the center of an emerging market sell-off that prompted jitters in the global stock market over the week. The currency surged against the U.S. dollar yesterday after Turkey's central bank raised its benchmark lending rate to fight rising inflation. Now, use that as our example. That's why we can't do it, because look at what happens right here. They try to raise it because they're trying to fight inflation, and then now they get hammered. So it's trading much lower. South Africa is trying to do the same thing, but it's not enough. So you've got all these, the countries that know that they've got to raise interest rates to fight off inflation, so you don't have that hyperinflation. And they're just making it worse for themselves. We should have let it happen in 2008.
Oh my God, dude. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Let's not even go there.
No, because usually most of the signals that have been most historically useful for the purpose of knowing when to get in and get out, have been blaring red since late 2011.
Yeah.
So,
but nobody's been paying attention. They've been cashing out. They've been raping the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew this is all by design. We say it all the time. Somebody's going to make a choice. And I want to know what those gold puts did.
Mm-hmm. Be interesting to know.
Somebody's going to make a choice one day to just flip the switch. And there it goes. You know, there'll be one big sell-off somewhere and everybody's going to jump on the board. You know, hey, ride that train. It's going down. Ride that train. Get out while you can. Get out while you can.
There was an article today on the price fixing of gold. I wish I would have kept it up, but I read through it. And whoever it is, JP Morgan or Chase or whoever it is, I mean, they're, you know, manipulating it
after
100%.
After all the shit that Diamond did, after all the fines and all the bullshit that Morgan had to go through over this, they gave him $20 million in the bonus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a farce.
Big time.
Mm-hmm. Everything happens. It's by design. I mean, it's fully by design. And, you know, listening to the speech last night, the unemployment, what they were talking about, the jobs, the stock market is up over, you know, what was it? 13% over last year. Well, you're trying to compare it to a market that's overinflated anyway.
Manipulated.
It's just, you're looking at the TV and wanting to throw a brick at the TV.
Yeah, and then he said he had to mention something about how the wealth gap has grown. And they must do something about that.
You notice no Republicans got up and clapped for that one. Well,
no.
They wouldn't have clapped for that one.
They had a clip of Boner the whole time and all the funny little faces he was making during the speech. It was pretty good.
He did much better than I've seen him in previous ones because I try to watch all of them, and he did much better. You know, with the
I was waiting to see if McCain fell asleep. But
what an idiot!
I know. We'll get into that here in a little bit, though. Let's let Scott have his 2 minutes, and we'll let Greg have his 7, and then we'll go from there.
Cool.
Here we go. Hopefully, there's no ad. Oh God, there's no ad. Friday, the stupid bowl.
Stupid bowl. What are you talking about?
Hello, this is Scott and it's a Hyperpoint. Here are the quotes of various items for today.
Ooh,
First,
down.
Union propaganda. Here are a few facts about the real state of the Union. On foreign policy, the U.S. currently is fighting 74 different wars as Putin makes Obama look like his prison punk on the international stage. Oh, let's not even get started with China, Iran, Libya, or Egypt. On economic policies, the national debt is above $17 trillion, 20% of U.S. households are on food stamps, and the poverty level has broken a 50-year record. On social and health policies, agencies like the IRS are being used as blunt political weapons against Obama's enemies, and the less said about Obamacare and how this boondoggle is going to destroy the healthcare system, the better. State of the Union? The State of the Union is good if you are a Marxist or Obama. Next, end run of Constitution. Obama thugs are looking for ways to keep the public from knowing the extent and depth of their spying operations. They are considering shifting the collection of records from the NSA to phone companies to bypass the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution by having private corporations do the snooping. Next, plunging electronic orders. In December, orders of computer and electronic products dropped to a level not seen since 1993. Yes, there were computers back then. So are people happy with their current electronics or do not have the extra discretionary income? Next, where the homeless are. As a percentage of population, Hawaii, California, New York, and Oregon have the highest number of homeless people. Out of the homeless, California and North Dakota have the highest percentage that are unsheltered. Next, vaccine propaganda fails. Using anecdotal evidence aggregated from unconfirmed and often unverifiable news stories, the pro-vaccine group Gates Foundation in conjunction with the CFR had put forth a map of disease breakouts to scare the mercury, aluminum, vaccine injections into people. Next, health effects of unemployment. There are multiple health effects aside from financial instability for those who are unemployed. For example, those who experienced a no-fault layoff had twice the risk of developing high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease within a year and a half. Needless to say, it is absolutely important to have a healthy exercise and eating plan in place and to stick with it. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
Propaganda does not deceive people. It merely helps them to deceive themselves. That was a quote today from Eric Hoffer. It was a pretty good one. Scott always throws a quote in at the end of the videos, if you haven't known that. That was a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. We'll jump over here and let Scott have, that was Scott. I'm so stupid.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah. Manarino. Mr. Manarino.
He was wrong from yesterday, though. He said the markets wouldn't drop it a little bit.
Yeah, he said there's not going to be any correction. The correction's over. It's not really a correction, though, because it's up and down about the same amount. 100 up, 100 down, 100 up, 100 down, 150 up, 150 down.
Yeah. Still, it was over market jitters, is from what I saw.
Yeah, probably. Let's see what he's going to say today. Oh, God.
If you're like many people.
What the hell's with the ads? Click.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Greg Manarino. How are you today? It is Wednesday, January 29th, 2014. All right, people.
What day is it?
Wow. Let's talk here. What is going on at this moment here? Very interesting, I think, at least. Today, we saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average lose 190 points. We saw the U.S. 10-year rally over 2.5%.
2.5%.
What's driving this? All right. It's not the Federal Reserve.
It's Turkey.
Despite what the mainstream media is trying to shove down your throat, let's back up a little bit and really try to take in what's going on here.
It's Turkey.
All right. So yesterday, we get a nice move in the markets. The Dow finished up almost 100 points. Overnight, the Dow futures were up over 150 points. What drove that? There's an issue developing here with regard to the Turkish currency, the lira. Their central bank yesterday decided to raise rates substantially. And this did affect U.S. stock futures. Everything was looking bright, but it had the wrong effect in the markets. And that put pressure on U.S. futures, and the Dow was pressured today. The Federal Reserve did decide to cut another $10 billion in their bond purchasing. But it really, in my opinion, had no effect on the market. And how do we know that? Again, look at the U.S. 10-year, a rally of 2.5%, over 2.5%. So this entire thing today, this sell-off was, first of all, I think this is overblown, way overblown. I am still bullish here, people. I have not changed my overall view here, and I'm going to go over that. Why? As all of you know that follow this blog, I have been buying these dips. I did not add to any of my positions today because I am getting a little cautious here. You can see where I'm at exactly if you go to my site, traderschoice.net. Click the link right down here in the description of this video. I think the market is overdone here, at least to the downside, people. It's all part of the illusion. I still believe they're not going to allow this to correct any further. We have hit certain technical indicators that are saying to me that this is going to turn around. Fundamentally, I mean, I don't see anything that bad going on here. And again, I think the market is overreacting to what's going on here with regard to.
Okay, I'm going to fade him down for just a second. I'm going to let him play in the background. I'm going to ask you something, Lance. So what happened with Turkey was just a little hiccup that nobody was expecting, that was not in the playbook, so to speak.
You mean that they were announcing it?
Well, no, the correction today, the little drop.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, they had been talking about it, but it's just like we've been talking about it. Everybody knows we need to raise the interest rates, and that's what they did.
Right.
And
it smacked them
because it's not going good. So you have to raise the interest rates to get out of an inflationary period.
Right. Okay.
Nothing here is written in stone. So approach all of this, whatever comes out of my mouth or anyone else's, with always a little bit of caution. It's just so important. But with that in mind, again, I am still bullish here in the stock market. I am beyond
the manipulation
bullish
continues.
with regard to the metals here, which also gained today. Again, we're watching this movement of cash. It's always the same story. This sell-off that we've had has been pretty intense. There's no doubt about that. but I think it's getting overdone here, people. And I don't want you to believe the nonsense. This is not because of the Fed. And we know this by looking at the bond market, period. I mean, the market took a little bit of a hissy fit. It was interesting. The Dow was down about 175 points when the Fed announced that they were going to cut this $10 billion. Then all of a sudden, it had a gain and only a loss of about 90 points. Then it went down like 200 points. It was all over the place. And I think as the market digests this, as we move forward over the next couple of days, I still think it's going to turn around.
It'll eventually poop it out.
But we're going to watch what's happening. We're going to keep our eye on everything here, and try to take this all in. That's what we can do, and make our best guesses and our best bets. And that's it. And if we're wrong, oh well, we just reallocate those funds at one point. That's it. And you got to take your wins and you got to take your losses in stride. Period.
Sounds so easy to a rich guy.
And I know some people get all bent out of shape about it. You cannot do that. If you do, get out of this business today. Just close all your positions and go back to whatever else you think you might be good at. Because if you cannot handle these, you cannot handle these swings.
Is he about done making sense?
There's no doubt about it. This is the nature of this beast.
Right on. Okay, so that's enough of Greg. Now, we're gonna slide on, people. The whole stock market deal, it's going up, it's going down. Get your ass out of it. You're better off, right? Okay? If you've what did you say last week? You've made all the gains back that you lost in 08 if you didn't touch anything.
Right.
So get your ass out of the market.
Because they don't have a contingency plan. Because it's designed to happen.
There's no market fee. Right.
Yeah, there is no correction coming. Or no. There's a correction coming, but there is no normality.
It's zero. It's going to correct to zero eventually.
Correct.
So, okay, off we go into the wild blue yan. Phones are open, everybody. 718-717-8296. We're getting ready to dissect the State of the Union. This guy, I did not watch it, full disclosure. I did not watch the State of the Union address last night. I cannot stand to listen to Barry. We're going to have to listen to a little bit of him tonight. However, it will be because we chose to and because we are going to tear it apart. So here we go. If anybody wants to join in, 718-717-8296. If you're on UCY.TV's friends list, hit me up and I'll add you into the call and we'll get going on this. I would really appreciate a few calls tonight. Let's get a roundtable discussion going and break down the lies. Here we go. Lance, you dropped me this video. You said it's only about 60 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's a little over a minute.
Okay. And I got it pulled up here. This is like exactly what we're going to do, but I guess we'll see what it says here.
Climate change is a fact. And when our children's children look us in the eye and ask if we did all we could to leave them a safer, more stable world with new sources of energy, I want us to be able to say, yes, we did.
Bullshit.
It is time to heed the call of business leaders, labor leaders, faith leaders, law enforcement, and fix our broken immigration system. Let's work together to close those loopholes, end those incentives to ship jobs overseas, and lower tax rates for businesses that create jobs right here at home. And let's not have another 40-something votes to repeal a law that's already helping millions of Americans like Amanda. I will issue an executive order requiring federal contractors to pay their federally funded employees a fair wage of at least $10.10 an hour. We need to work together on tools like Bipartisan Trade Promotion Authority to protect our workers, protect our environment,
that's TPP,
and open new markets to new goods stamped made in the USA.
Okay, so that's his shit in 60 seconds.
Yeah, now you cancel it.
Oh God, this is the whole thing.
Yeah, it goes into the whole thing. You might want to cancel it.
I'm not devoting an hour of my show to that blowhard.
It was more than an hour.
106.
And it's funny because I started out watching Fox when it was going to it, and I can't remember, they were bashing somebody. So I turned it over to MSNBC because they were actually there in the convention, because they're pro-Obama, if you will. Uh-huh. And Rachel Maddow was up there. Rachel Maddow? Yep, mad cow disease there. But, saying, oh, he's not going to get credit for unemployment at 6.7 for the lowest it's been since, Bush left office, and all the jobs that were created, the health care, the stock market, how it's so much more. And I'm like, that people believe this crap. It's just appalling and nauseating that people were sitting there going, yeah.
So I saw a couple of memes on this today on Facebook. Like I said, I did not watch the SOTU. I didn't care to watch it. I know the State of the Union. I don't need anybody to blow smoke up my ass or sunshine up my ass or anything else up my ass. So I didn't watch it. And I really can't stand listening to that guy speak because everything comes out of his mouth's a lie.
Every politician, though, is like that. Yeah. Not just him.
Oh, God. I got to play this clip of Joe Biden. I got to go grab this. If this was on Pigmine. They had a talk with him today. Charlie Rose or whoever the hell does one of the morning shows. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So they had a clip of him. This is about 7 minutes long, but we can go ahead and play this because, Gaff-A-Minute Joe is kind of fun to listen to. But I think that he's been sitting down with some handlers. Wait till you hear how he throws his presentation. I don't know if you heard it, but this is, I think old Joe has been sitting down with some handlers and they're teaching him, shut your pie hole, say what you're supposed to say, or we're going to catch a bullet. So anyway, we'll do this here. Oh, and we ought to talk about the, hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. Let's listen to Joe Biden.
Yeah. And then did you hear about the one rep that threatened to throw this cat off the balcony at the rotunda? We'll throw that one. Yeah, we'll throw that one in here too later on, but yeah, let's listen to I got to find this video. So go ahead if you guys want to talk about something here real quick. I got to find this video.
Well, he talked about the drones last night that he was trying to, make them safer, only to use them to make the American people safer. And I was just like, safer from who? I'm safe.
We're trying to make this country safe. That's what they usually say. Instead of the American people, it's a wonder he didn't say country. Because they want to eliminate us and keep the country for themselves. So they want to make the country safer for them to travel around.
Well, the choice of words that he used on the NSA about the eavesdropping part of it.
Oh, yeah.
He said, he's backing off of that because what was the word? Ordinary American has nothing to worry about. Well, yes, the ordinary American is watching your show, watching MSNBC, watching Fox. Dumbed down, sleep as hell, and not doing any investigating, not putting any keywords into a chat room. So yeah, that would be your
normal people American. That believe what we say.
And that's what it was. Normal Americans. I'm sorry. It wasn't ordinary. It was normal Americans.
Right. Okay. I found Joe. Let's listen to Joe real quick.
President of the United States, Joe Biden. He joins us from the library at the Naval Observatory in Washington. Mr. Vice President, good morning.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
Good. Let me begin with the State of the Union and what the President said. Why so much emphasis on executive orders when so many people believe they have limited abilities and most of the big things have to be through Congress?
Most of the big things do have to go through Congress, and the president said, I want Congress to do that. As a matter of fact, as I sat there with John Boehner, he and I were talking about the prospects before the president spoke about the prospects of the House moving on immigration. Last year, the president asked for a move on immigration, and in fact, as everybody said, no, it's dead on arrival. This year, it looks like we may get something done. In the meantime, the president eased up some of the deportation that was underway. So the president will take action where, in fact, he thinks it will spur action in the states and federally and with the Congress, or where we have to where we can make some progress. We're just not going to sit around and wait for the Congress if they choose not to act.
But it seemed to me that last night the president, including the remarkable portrait of Sergeant Remsburg, is somehow trying to capture the spirit of America and build a kind of identification with this can-do attitude.
Well, he is. Look, the president and I remain incredibly optimistic. Relative to the rest of the world, Charlie, and you know international relations, you travel the world, we are better positioned than any nation in the world to lead the economy of the 21st century. China, Europe, no matter where you go, America is the engine. We'll be the epicenter of energy in the 21st century in North America. We have the greatest workforce in the world. And so this is about taking advantage of the assets that we have, and let's move. That's why the president put me in charge of this new task force that's going to gather all these forces, including companies and universities and community colleges, to do the things that the American people say. Look, every initiative the president put forward, the polling data you have done and everyone else has done show the American people agree with us on it. And so part of this is making the case repeatedly to the American people, who in turn make the case to the Congress. So this is like we did before, Charlie, on energy. We said all of the above. We went out and we did renewables. We went out and we did oil. We now did gas. We went out and at the same time and it's the same thing. All of the above, man. We've got to move. The middle class needs access.
Mr. Vice President, I know last night the president called for immigration reform again, but I noticed that he left out the phrase pathway to citizenship, which is a pretty big omission. He used that specific phrase last year. Does that mean you're willing to cut a deal with Republicans that would just provide legal status to illegal immigrants in this country?
No, it doesn't mean that. We still think by far and away the preferable route to go is citizenship. We don't want two-tier people in America, those who are legal but not citizens and citizens. And so what we are saying is, and I said to John last night, pass something. If that's what you're going to pass it. And to use the wonkish term, let the Congress get to conference and let the Congress battle it out and decide what the route is. And then we'll decide whether we think it's good enough. But citizenship is the pathway.
Mr. Vice President, you've had a long career in the Congress and was chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And now you have former Secretary of Defense Bob Gates writing a book in which he said you were wrong on almost every major decision in the last 40 years.
Well, you know, Bob and I like each other. We both acknowledge we each other possess integrity, as he said in his book. But we have disagreed for 40 years. I thought we should end the war in Vietnam. That's why I ran. He didn't think that. I thought Iran-Contra was a disaster. He thought it was a good idea. I thought Gorbachev was an agent of change. You remember he encouraged Reagan not to view him as an agent of change. I thought we should have war crime tribunals in Bosnia, and he thought we shouldn't. I thought we should end this war in Iraq, in Afghanistan after taking care of Al-Qaeda, which we're about to finish doing. He didn't. The president said last night it's time to end the war in Afghanistan. That's not Bob's position.
Mr. Vice President, can I ask you then on Afghanistan, because as we draw down our forces in Afghanistan, military leaders have said that they would like a force of between 9,000 and 12,000 at the end of this year. You are calling for a much smaller force. Why?
That is not true, by the way. I read these reports about what I've called for.
How many troops should be there then?
My counsel is to the president privately. That's why I think that bothered Bob a lot, that the president listens to me a lot. And so I have taken no public position on that. So that's not true, number one. Number two, there is a division within even the military as to how many troops should be left behind. But the military is united on one thing, except I'm not sure Bob is, and that is if in fact there is no security agreement where our troops are guaranteed certain rights if they stay, the military says we shouldn't stay. So Karzai has to sign the so-called BSA, this basic agreement, in order for anything to happen. The president's in the process of making that decision now. I keep my counsel
This is
to
not
him.
Joe
I keep
Biden.
it private, and he will make a decision shortly. But here's the deal. We went there for an explicit purpose, to defeat and dismantle Al-Qaeda and prevent them from returning.
Maybe they went to
Disney.
Disney
We did not go there
and
to
got an
nation build.
animatron
We did not
of
go
Joe.
there to occupy. And the president said this war is coming to an end. We'll prepare to continue to train forces in Afghanistan of the Afghan military and have a small CT operation there. That is a decision to be made by the president after consultation with the military. I don't know who's putting these numbers out, but ask anyone. No one has heard me say in the Situation Room offer any specific number. I do that privately with the president.
But you're saying the president was listening to you and not to his Secretary of Defense.
No, I didn't say that. I said Bob Gates in his book laments the president listened to me.
And then finally, let me ask about your own future. Does your wife, Dr. Biden, I think you might want to run for president?
What does my wife want me to run for president? You said, I'm sorry.
Does Jill want you to run for president?
Well, Jill and I will make that decision later down the road. It's too early to do that right now. I've got a job to do in the meantime, and if I do the job well and decide to run for president, will help. If I don't do the job well and decide to run for president, won't help. And if I don't run for president, we'll all be okay.
Hillary Clinton's decision affect your decision?
That's what he just asked.
No, not directly. The only reason a man or woman should run for president, I'm sure Hillary views it the exact same way, is if they think they're better positioned to be able to do what the nation needs at the moment. And what is the plan you have for the country? And that's the only thing that to generate whether you run.
Mr. Vice President, thank you so much.
Look at that, man. They cut
I didn't mean
him
to cut you off. Thank you so much.
No, that's okay. No, I'm glad to stop talking about it.
Good to see you.
You can come back tomorrow.
Man, what is with cutting off the public leaders, man?
Well, at least they didn't go to a Beeb update or something.
Yeah, no shit.
Cut them off for
That was, oh my God. Jump in there, Mike. Come on, let's hear it.
That was just ridiculous. I mean, he contradicted himself. He says he's going to, they would bring the case before Congress, and then we're going to move without Congress. I mean, he could fit both his feet in his mouth, I guess.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Epicenter of energy. America is going to be the epicenter of energy in the 21st century. Like, where? How? We don't have any.
Does that mean they're going to open up all the shale oil out in the
We don't have
West?
any hydrothermal programs. We don't have any of those programs at all. We have wave programs. Every other country's going, full steam ahead, but they're doing it. Not America. There's just bald-faced lies.
We've got tens of thousands of new windmills in this country. Have you seen anybody's price go down? Anybody's? Anybody in chat? Anybody had their electricity go down over the last couple of 10 years or so? I mean, there's tens of thousands of those goddamn windmills up.
No, they're private. They don't get. The companies did it and charge more for their electricity. You can sign up for the green electricity. A lot of companies do it here. It's a PR thing. They say, okay, well, the newspaper does it, and the local internet service provider. It's Blue Sky Energy out here in Wyoming. They have a big field. So yeah, but I'd rather have those things than. I mean, because they're renewable. The wind will never run out. We can have wind here. We don't have to ship it from wherever the hell. You know?
But these big, huge monstrosities that they're building, dude, they require so much maintenance, it's not even funny.
American jobs.
Some of them do fine. I guess just depends.
They're all General Electric.
Some of them do fine. Maybe it's awarding these contracts through utilities. It's also a glad-handing, nepotistic, cronyistic opportunity to make big bucks, like our General Electric reactors.
Yeah.
There is no competition. They'll do anything they could to sabotage any real alternative that would lower the value of their in-ground assets.
Would you say, Lance?
Yeah, that's not sold in the petrodollar.
No. We're kind of getting off on a tangent right now, though. I want to get back
what
to
he
the
was
State of the
talking
Union.
about. What he was talking about was like executive orders, I guess, when he was talking about with Congress or without Congress.
Yeah.
And it's funny because all of the Republican stations, I was listening to a couple of them on the radio today since I've been sitting at home in the snow, and they were all, Gestapo this and dictator this because he's threatening to pull out the pen.
Didn't someone come
sign
out today? One of the congressional leaders called him a socialist dictator
with a K. Yes, a communist dictator with a K instead of like a
right
communist, commie. But it's interesting, and I'll ask you both this and see if you can answer this question. How many EOs has Barack Obama signed since he's been in office?
Probably as many as everybody else did combined. I don't know.
Well,
30? 30?
167 issued so far to date. Now, all these Republicans are getting all bent out of shape. They need to pull their heads out of their asses because guess how many Bush signed in his terms of office?
No, go ahead.
291. So, again, what's good for what's good for the goose is not good for the gander because nobody was
the Republicans
talking
are
about
bitching because they're not writing the EOs.
Exactly. So, they're all hypocrites. They all only say one side of the story when they're trying to talk to their base, where if anybody was able to do 3 minutes worth of independent research, they would know that they're both full of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Hypocrites? Did you call them hypocrites?
Hypocrites.
So harsh, aren't you?
So I noticed that Barry never mentioned Obamacare once.
No, he did. Oh, shit, yeah. He mentioned it a whole lot because there were people in the audience. There was a lady there in the audience that got a job, had a pre-existing condition, January 1st enrolled in healthcare, and then January 9th had either a seizure or an episode of whatever her pre-existing illness was. And it was fully covered. And they used her as an example because she was in the crowd.
Plant.
And then they used that Marine guy that was clapping with one hand on his chest because he couldn't move his other arm, who's been deployed to Iraq 10 times. He was sitting right next to Michelle Obama.
And then he catch some shrapnel in his head, had a big plate going on. Yeah.
He did. So, they had him there as the token guy
for a little military robot.
Yep.
Parade the crippled dude.
Yep.
Thank you.
And put him in his dress blues. Make sure they're pressed really nice.
Oh yeah, he was Army. So yeah, he was there in his blues. It was, so he touched on everything. He touched on Obamacare, how great the jobs were, the confidence that's in the market right now. Just full of crap.
Economy?
It's just like a fantasy movie or what?
Do you talk about the economy?
About how good it was going.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, unemployment's down to 6 something. Woo.
6.7.
36.
Well, once it goes down to 6.5, they're going to talk about lowering a little bit more of that QE, that 10 billion that they stopped today. As soon as it goes down to 6.5, so all they have to do is wait for the next round of people that have been unemployment for 6 months and cut them off and then say, hey, unemployment's back down.
Yep.
There going to be 3 million active workers and 300 million non-workers, and they'll still be cooking the book somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody that flips a burger on an Army base or a Navy base they all make $10.10 an hour now. So that's good. Yeah.
Minimum wage is actually, I remember Reagan, hearing them talk about that when he made the minimum wage, raised it. It was actually more money then than what our minimum wage is now, with the cost of living, if you will. So it needs to go up, but that was just for federal jobs.
Federal contractors, yeah. And like I said, the only federal contractors that are out there are food service workers. Because you know that Blackwater's not going to take $10.10 an hour.
No.
It's food service, you know, the guys that make the food and the guys that clean the dishes. That's it. Maybe some civilians that work at the PX or whatever. But that's it. That's the only people it affects. Maybe about 100,000. Maybe. That's it.
Woohoo.
Yeah, you got, I mean, you know, that he blows some big smoke on TV, but if you really look into it and see what he's talking about, it ain't shit.
Yeah, he just blows.
Well, when he was talking about the economy yesterday too, after 4 years of economic growth, corporate profits and stock prices have rarely been higher.
Yeah,
and those at the top have never done better.
Right.
But average wages have barely budged. Inequality has deepened. Upward mobility has stalled. That was his quote from last night.
Yeah.
So again, corporate profit, stock prices are up, but the average wages have not budged.
Eat the rich. Right?
Yep.
Well, it's all a fake fantasy story that's, you know, created to satisfy the masses, give them some more talking points, buy them some time. You know, it's an expected thing. Did he look really presidential?
No.
Did he have his salt and pepper,
He
hair
never has.
trimmed closely with a nice smile? And
He's never looked like a president to me. He never has, you know. He's a teleprompter reader. And cause he, you know, look, this guy's never done an honest day's work in his life.
He was groomed. He's been placed by the elite in this position.
He's never signed a fucking time card. He's never, you know what I mean? He's always been on somebody else's
a volunteer. He's
hand.
a volunteer.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the
Community
10-10
leader.
an hour.
Yeah,
Hey, this
community
10-10 an hour.
Yeah.
10% of the workers, of the federal contractors, only 10% of them earn less than 10-10 an hour. Right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying, you know, big deal.
200,000 people.
I don't know how anybody can afford to drive, have a vehicle, insurance, any kind of payment.
You can't.
And fuel
You can't.
on that kind of money.
You can't.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't have insurance.
That's why Walmart workers are on food stamps. That's why McDonald's workers are on food stamps. That's why Burger King workers are on food stamps. Wendy's workers are on food stamps.
That's why
90% of this country that works is on food stamps.
A married E4 or below can be on, or E3 and below can be on food stamps.
Right. Because they don't make a living wage.
Right.
But Wall Street's cleaning up, man. Wall Street's never been higher.
Jobs somewhere else to various parts across the world. And then they import that stuff at a lower price and worse quality and say, see, hasn't your standard of living increased so much? Because now you can afford a 4-slot toaster instead of a 2-slot toaster. It's just ridiculous. I mean, we're chasing these plastic toys for a cheaper price and in the process destroying any hope of any manufacturing base. For anybody who isn't inclined to work on a computer or work outside, there's just, you know, a whole class of people that would do well at those kind of jobs, and they're just not available.
They have to be addicted to cheap shit, man, because they can't stop buying. They've created a consumer society that cannot stop buying. They have to buy. They have to spend their entire paycheck that they make before they get the next one. That's what they've trained these monkeys to be, is a consumer-driven society. So they have to import cheap shit from China so that the people can that they can keep consuming at low wages.
So you know how to save the country, just like old George Bush told you to after 9/11. Go shop. Go spend money.
Yeah. Go buy a car.
Get in debt.
Yep. That's how you can do your part for the country. Go spend the money to help corporate profits.
Defeat Al Qaeda. Go in debt.
Go get a PS3, 4, or 5, or whatever it is now, or 1 again. I don't know. Go buy one of those game consoles that'll watch and read your every move and
Go
look
get
through
you
your
a
clothes.
track phone. Go to Walmart.
If you're an ordinary American, you got nothing to worry about.
Fluoride?
That's what I said earlier. As long as you're a fluoride drinking, sheeple, then you have nothing to worry about.
Do exactly what I tell you to, and everything will be just fine, you crayon eater.
Mm-hmm. But the saddest part about all this Obama stuff is I remember, a couple years ago, I have friends that are really involved in politics. My best friend that died, he did nothing all day except politics. And I actually used to believe these people. I mean, I actually believed that one party was better than, obviously, I was a Democrat. And I believed that the Democrats were better than the Republicans, But who do you vote for when you have two pieces, So I'm never voting again. I didn't vote last time. I'm never voting again. But I used to believe all that stuff.
I'll be right back.
And it's pitiful.
It's like having two of your favorite turds in the bowl and you don't know which one to flush first.
It takes two wings to fly the Imperial Eagle. The left and the right. Just remember that.
That's right.
Well, so you tell somebody don't vote, but, then what? Somebody's still going to vote.
Well, let them vote. We're going to have to deal with the crap anyway.
Bronco got voted into office with less than 25% of this country going to the polls.
If Bush,
if you break down the numbers, that's the truth.
If Bush versus Gore does not prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that your vote has no bearing, then what will? I mean, Gore clearly won more votes.
You mean the whole hanging Chad shit?
The whole hanging Chad stuff.
Oh my God.
They had to have Bush. The elite had to have Bush in the office for the Patriot Act because Gore would have never went along with that.
I'm not sure I believe that. I think Gore would have done anything that someone had pulled his little polar bear. Oh man, I'm sorry. He would have done anything. They all will. In the end.
I don't think they all will. Jimmy Carter wouldn't. That's why he didn't get a second term.
You're still a Democrat at heart, man.
He's still sweet, dude. Look, he wears Crocs, for Christ's sake.
You're like, you're softballing the home team again.
But, see, I'm telling you, if they don't go along, they get one term.
Or they catch a bullet.
Of course, that would, Daddy Bush was surely wholehearted, but I think they needed Clinton for the economy to draw up that economy and get some more secret black op stuff going. But
continuity government.
Again, they're all.
Man, they just need a politician that is inflammatory enough on certain issues to create a reaction strong enough to polarize the people and keep them going in the direction of left and right, off balance, moving forward. You'll always hear about that. Always moving forward. They'll never investigate what the guy in office did for them. They're always going to move forward, left, right. You're going to follow that damn paradigm all the way down to hell.
I was listening to Rush Limbaugh today, and a caller called in.
So asleep, dude.
No, I'm not. I don't believe anything that they're saying, but I just like to.
I'm just fucking with you.
I like to have fodder, stuff like that.
I know.
And people were calling in and just saying some of the stupidest stuff that I used to say.
Doozies, man, he gets some good callers.
those people that follow him. But this is what one of the guys said when he was talking about an election, and they were what do they call them? Conservative, a liberal conservative, not liberal conservative, but a far right conservative, a right wing conservative. Bagger. And they said John McCain wasn't conservative enough. So these Republicans were talking about, they said, we don't want to hear a Republican say we can cross party lines. I'm the guy that can get stuff done because I can work with the other side. No. They were going, that's a Republican's worst nightmare. We don't want to work with the other side. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Division. Keep the
I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
I call it bull. That's just the posturing. That's the play. That's
left-right
the
paradigm.
Punch. You got Judy, man. It's the punch, and they do it particularly when they've got before the election cycles, and then they'll start to slow it down. Then there'll be, and then they want to pass something particularly onerous. Then they'll cross this aisle and they'll support for national security the bill that the Honorable Senator Screw You from wherever's put up. And they're all the same when it comes to those great big Patriot Acts.
Yeah,
how many of them voted for that?
Hunt said it in the room. A neocon.
Yes.
Neoconservative, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, the whole thing is a show. And the worse they whine and complain about it and moan and bitch and howl, the more they are just simply feeding that paradigm to get their rabid right or their rabid left, what they call that, their base.
Their base. Yeah.
The people who always vote in every election and they are running for their district or whatever, those guys. And they're all connected into the banking or the real estate or the development or car dealership or something, always.
Mm-hmm.
But don't trust them. Instead, live well. They hate that. They hate it if you do it yourself. They hate it if you're not going to the store. They hate it if you eat well. They hate it if you're not going taking their drugs.
If you're not on the list,
if you're not watching their television. That's the best way to fight back. Is simply I refuse to buy their bullshit the best I can.
If you are not
Same
on
way
a
you treat
government watch list,
bratty kid,
right? If you are not on a government watch list, you should be ashamed of yourself. I said that yesterday in the room. Everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, unless you completely disagree with everything that I say, should be on some sort of watch list. You should be. Then you know you're doing something right. Trying to get this country back.
I wasn't until I met you.
Yeah, whatever. So let's go back to Barry and the state of the empire. Was there anything that you could take away from last night that said that he was getting ready to drop the hammer on martial law and become the tyrannical leader that everybody thinks that he's going to be? Or, is he going to give up the ghost in 2016 and let the chips fall, or what?
Nope. There was not one word mentioned about the police state, Department of Homeland Security.
Imagine that. Terrorism.
Nothing. There was. He talked plenty about terrorism, where they were going to, protect us from, and go to the far ends of the planet to, be the world's police. And he used Reagan as an example. He said, look, Reagan could negotiate with a much superior power than Iran. So somebody, as small as Iran, we should be able to negotiate with them. So, he basically called Iran a piddly nation. Exactly. Because he talked about the sanctions, but he didn't talk about the millions of children that have died because of those sanctions. He just talked about the big bad sanctions that they were able to put on them.
Right.
Well, and he was lying. He's not negotiating. He's threatening. There is no negotiation.
Right, because if Congress was going to...
bold threat. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Because if Congress was going to lift the sanctions or keep them in place or whatever it was, the opposite of what he wanted to do, he was just going to sign it away and do it anyway. Which is what Bush did. So why should they not expect to get the same that they dealt everybody else?
Left-right paradigm.
Exactly. They're all against us.
They do the exact same thing. Yeah. Just a different color. Blue, red, whatever.
Green or brown.
Yeah, you notice nobody was wearing a red power tie last night. It was Biden and Barry had blue ties and Boehner had a green tie. Saw very, very, very little red ties last night.
Too bad they didn't have a Soweto necktie, huh?
Gang colors. Yeah, they had their patches.
You know what a Soweto necktie is?
What?
You know what a Soweto necktie is?
A Colombian necktie?
Colombian necktie.
Soweto.
No.
Yeah, it's where they cut your throat and pull your tongue out.
Yeah, Colombian necktie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was done a long time ago in African tribes, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a common thing, I guess.
Tradition, I guess. It must be traditions carry on down the line. You know?
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
It's interesting because I brought up to you, Jimmy, yesterday the term designated survivor. And do you know what that is?
I do
Mike?
now.
No, does Mike? Do you know what a designated survivor is when you're talking about the State of the Union?
Designated survivor kind of sounds like somebody who's been chosen to send you the bad news. It's like the guy at you take the fingers and toes from all your companions back to your boss.
Well, what the designated survivor is, because everybody, the next 8 lines of succession or something to the White House are actually sitting in that State of the Union last night. So they named somebody, and it's usually it's been the Secretary of Energy, I believe, for the last couple times. Mm-hmm. But they have a guy that he is basically president for 4 hours or whatever it is.
Right, the hour that he's talking.
Yes, he's got a guy next to him with a briefcase with the nuke codes, which we can't activate because the aliens turned them off anyway. But he's got that. He's got the full bodyguard contingency around him. He's got the full bodyguard contingency around him. So just in case some cataclysmic event hit the rotunda last night,
everybody in Congress was smushed by a meteorite.
You had that continuity of government.
Right. So he got to
So
sit.
he can't be anywhere close then. He has to be like in somewhere else.
Last night he got to spend he got to spend a few hours in one of the brand new dumbs last night.
No, he was in Dick Cheney's, what was it? Dick Cheney's secret, where he was.
Underground bunker.
Yeah, where he was during 9/11. He was hiding with Dick Cheney.
Colombian hooker's house, you know it. Come on.
But I kept waiting, and that's why I watched it last night, because I was fully expecting it to blow up, because I had never heard the term designated survivor, and I heard it on the radio yesterday, and they explained it, and then I heard it on Rachel Maddow. He actually said it on MSNBC last night. So there it was in 2 different forms of media. I was fully expecting a laser beam to come down off the Capitol building last night and take them all out, but it didn't happen.
Poop.
Damn.
I know. That's why I was tuning in, which is why I'll be tuning into the Olympics. So,
and the Stupid Bowl.
And
the Stupid Bowl is coming up on the 2nd, everybody.
Yeah, it's coming up before the Olympics, and so I be interesting to see.
Okay, since we're going off on all these little tangents and stuff, I gotta throw this one out there. I saw a video today. And no, I'm not going to go get it and drop it in the chat. It's pretty long, and I don't think you people will get into it. But anyway, let's just give you the Reader's Digest version of it. There's a lady that's got a YouTube channel that claims to speak with God and be spoken to from God, right? And over the last couple of years, she's been putting these videos up on her channel on YouTube in reference to different football things. And she kind of did a summation video, and I watched it.
Is that the Rev? Who is
No.
Okay, yeah, I'll drop that.
Somebody, yeah, I'll drop it to you later. Somebody completely different. But anyway, she kind of started putting the dots together, and it points to something happening at the Super Bowl. And that's not the first thing I've seen about something happening at the Super Bowl. There's a lot of stuff out there, actually. There's some things that have been dropped on before it's news, and there's some other different things that I've seen on Facebook. And
sounds like a Tom Clancy book.
Well, I don't put anything past these fucking people.
Well, Department of Homeland Security declared it a level 1 national security event.
Yep.
Which authorizes them to do a police state, basically. It gives them border.
You won't come or go without them getting your face on camera.
You are within 100 miles. You're within 100 miles of a border too, so you have no rights either.
How many miles is it to the Capitol?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a border.
Well, no, I'm just saying. You're right there. You're right there. Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's in Meadowlands.
300 miles, maybe. 150, 200 miles, maybe. Yeah.
They're not going to let any blimps fly. I know it's going to be colder than shit, and they probably couldn't fly anyway, but no blimps fly over the Super Bowl since 2001. So there's not going to be any air traffic. It's going to be closed airspace over the top of it. So if anything comes in from overhead, it's going to be an alien.
Your constitutional rights are seriously going to be violated during this one.
The gist of what this chick's summation was on all of her videos is that there's going to be some kind of biological event at the Super Bowl.
It's going to be the hot dog.
I don't know. She said something about a canister, an explosion. They're taking players off. So,
well, that is interesting because then it could be a controlled thing. Because listen to this, and I'll just read this part here. The Department of Homeland Security has declared Super Bowl, whatever it is, a level 1 national security event, which allows Homeland Security Presidential Directive 5 to automatically become implemented. This means the feds are given authority to lead all security operations because the Super Bowl is considered a terrorist target. This strips the authority from local governments, turning it into a de facto police state.
Well, imagine that.
So they have control over everything, just like they did at 9/11 when they went into the towers and shut it down for maintenance a couple weeks before. It's the same exact thing. They have full control, and they've been keeping out local authorities and can keep them out.
So this is like the big grand unveiling of the...
Can't hear you. Mike, you're muted.
Oh, is it muted?
There you go.
No,
there you go. You were just...
Oh, okay. This is the unveiling of the police state. You know how they have the great advertisements, the commercials.
More conditions.
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that not one camera will zoom in on anybody in riot gear during the whole entire Super Bowl? If you're watching Fox or whatever channel it is on, you will never see a militarized police officer on the camera.
Man, you don't see searching people either.
Mm-hmm.
If they station snipers up in the lights and stuff, man, those guys are going to be freezing their asses off.
Yeah, that'd be one.
Because it's supposed to be like single digits during the game or something, yeah?
Is it?
Yeah. And snowing and shit.
Oh, is it snowing too?
Man, Denver's going to win.
It'd be like the Ice Bowl.
Yeah, Seattle ain't going to be able to do it. They play in a dome out there, yeah?
Yep. No, they don't.
Seattle?
Do they?
Superdome.
Oh, do they? Oh, yeah, it rain. Oh. Yeah, it rains all the time out there.
Yep. Not Superdome.
And it's sea level.
It's a dome, yeah.
They're going, higher up now, too.
Well, no, Jersey's right there on the water. They're playing the
Meadowlands, yeah, I forget.
I thought it was an outdoor stadium because he makes his, when he walks around during practices, he sprays their gloves with a spray bottle of water because it's always raining there. I thought for sure it was an outdoor stadium, but I guess I could be wrong.
I don't know. Shit, I don't know. I don't watch TV.
Yeah, me neither. is all sports. Why are we talking about this shit anyway?
Talking about a
Super Bowl, a terrorist attack. That's what we're talking about.
Terrorist attack Super Bowl, man.
The number one terrorist in the world. Us.
Yeah, buddy. Well, humans are like a cancer on the planet.
In general.
Most of us.
I'd rather talk about Biden eating his feet.
Yeah, and then we got the Olympics coming up, too. And the Illuminati card.
February 11th, baby.
Yeah, the Illuminati card is just spot on with the clock tower. So the one in Sochi at the train tracks.
But it's a both. That worldwide, super
I just
bad
said that.
Dr. Evil.
I just said that to Lance the other day, Mike. I just said that to Lance the other day. I said, watch, they'll hit the Super Bowl, and then a week later, they'll hit the Olympic opening ceremonies. Maybe not in Sochi, but they'll probably bomb that train station and kill a bunch of people that were getting ready to go into the opening ceremony. And then it'll be like worldwide police state. They'll all start screaming, we need the worldwide police because they're striking us everywhere. My God, Al-Qaeda!
Well, that would be the New World Order that they're trying to implement, so.
Yeah, that's, I'm not predicting anything. I'm not some kind of clairvoyant. I'm not an empath. So I'm just postulating, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we got less than 2 weeks to wait, so.
Postulate anymore, yeah.
Well, we got 3-4 days to wait for the first one.
Yeah, no, yeah, the Olympics is less than like 8 days or something. It's 8 days or something.
This Sunday.
No, the Olympics, Goober.
Not
the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is this Sunday, the second.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I don't want to watch the football, but I will watch that curling for sure.
I'm probably going to watch the Olympics, just because, you never know. Those guys from Volgograd might do something.
Yeah.
Well, I do like watching like the snowboarders and those crazy guys. The crazies. I like the crazies.
That's after. Yeah. The X Games is the week after the Olympics.
Oh yeah, those guys are nuts too.
Mm-hmm.
But the human body can do some amazing shit, man. I like watching the divers, the guys that go off the great big high dot, the concrete platform. Oh my God, those.
Hey, did you hear the story about the Jamaican bobsled team?
Somebody paid for their thing in Bitcoin, yeah?
No, well, they made the trials. Right. The one that they made, Cool Runnings, that movie.
Right. So
they made the Olympics, but then they announced, oh, I'm sorry, we can't make it because it's going to cost $80,000. And they did the Kickstarter, all these other, social media funding things. They got $120,000 the first day.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're going. I'll be rooting for them.
Hell yeah. I want to see them Jamaican bobsled.
Yep.
They wear some cool ass uniforms, man. I like the black. I like their Jamaican flag. It's got cool colors of green, black, and yellow, and just looks good.
Yeah, I'll be pimping Jamaica that day anyway, so I'll be rooting for them.
Everybody, eat your hippie lettuce.
That's right.
Root for Jamaica.
That's right.
So what I think the Sochi, I was gonna say, and I've said it before, that I thought it'd be a bomb that was built into one of the new buildings. That they put in during construction.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's got to knock a church tower. It's got to knock a church tower over, though, to match the Illuminati card.
Right. Either there's going to be more than one bomb go off. Because that tower, that clock tower, it's not a church tower, it's a clock tower, is at the train station where everybody's going to come in to Sochi. It's actually outside of the town. It's outside of the Olympic Village and all that. But it's in Sochi.
The card is a combined disaster card, which allows for 2 disasters at the same place, too.
Right.
Really?
So one of them could be an explosion, and then one of them could be the biological something.
This Illuminati card sounds kind of
interesting. Well, no, the whole biological thing.
It's very interesting. You've never seen it, Mike?
No.
Oh, you need to type that in.
Google Illuminati card deck. And you'll see all the cards that have already been played out, like the 9/11 card, the Sandy Hook card, the Boston bombing card.
When was it made?
And older ones in the past, too.
Back in the 90s.
Yep. 96. The second edition deck
showed
came
up
out
one day. Hey, look at this.
Yeah, actually.
Yep. Yep.
They used to
Because-
carry them at what the hell's the name of that one weirdo shop? Spencer's Gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the Illuminati have to throw it out under your nose on what they're going to do before they do it. They have to.
Say, we told you guys decades ago that this shit was going to happen, man.
They have
You
to.
act all surprised and shit. What's going on?
That is their MO, is that they tell you that they're going to do it.
So they don't
Nobody
feel so
believes
bad
it,
about it.
and then they do it.
They're like, yeah, we told them. So what?
Oh,
And then you say, that's just like that movie.
That's why do you think Hollywood's controlled?
You guys are a bunch of conspiracy theorists.
Well,
Thank you.
all the
Thank you very
Illuminati symbols in that award show the other night was just blaring.
Yeah, Katy
blaring.
Perry. Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Katy
that was
Perry and
just
her little
blaring Illuminati symbols.
satanic worshiping bullshit.
There's that one, the singer that sang about Jesus Christ all the time. She left. She refused to be part of it. I can't remember her name. But some little wholesome blonde girl, I guess country, sings, religious.
Katy Perry?
No,
Oh, no,
well,
no.
not her, but Katy Perry did a satanic dance up there, a witch dance. So this lady was like, I can't be part of this. She saw all the symbolism and everything else, and she left the awards.
She's going to die in a car accident.
Probably.
Or drug overdose or something.
Her next record won't sell.
Yeah, that's it.
But yes, that was full of symbolism, just like the one with the that girl, that twerking girl, whoever she was. She had the same symbolisms at things.
Well, who's supposed to do the halftime show?
Is it Beyonce? That's there. I can't remember now. Hold on.
There he goes on that Google. It's worth the Google. Super Bowl halftime. Click.
Red Hot Chili? No. Is it?
No way.
No, hold on. Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah.
Really?
That's what this says.
Oh man, they're gonna bio-attack the Red Hots? That sucks. Those guys make good music.
Yeah, last year was Beyonce, and this year Bruno Mars is set to perform between the second and third quarter, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers will join the headliner. So Red Hot Chili Peppers isn't even the headliner. Bruno Mars is.
Wow.
Oh, is
I
that
don't even know who Bruno Mars is.
Yeah, who the hell is that?
You'll know his song when you hear it.
Will I?
Yeah, you will, because it's been all over the radio.
I don't listen to the radio. I probably won't know.
He's the one that sings that
neither.
gorilla.
What?
Gorilla song. Hold on.
Gorillas.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on here.
Man.
I don't know who the hell that is.
You'll know it when you hear it, though.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
If it's come out in the last 15 years, I ain't gonna know it.
Me neither.
I'm an old fogey.
mm-hmm.
That's just
But
some
I'll be
kind of
watching.
hip hop or, some house or some trance. I won't know who did it, but I'll say, hey, that's cool. I think I heard that before, right?
ZZ Top or something did it a few years ago.
If it ain't an Aussie skateboard, I don't know what it is.
I've always thought your opening music should have been play that funky music, white boy.
It's copyrighted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there you go. Wendy just typed in the chat room, chili prepper. That's good. I like that. That chili prepper. That's all y'all up north. And well, shit, that's all a bunch of y'all down south now. You got icicles hanging off your balls and.
Maddie put that in there about the weed bowl, because if you got to think about it, Colorado and Washington, the two states that it's legal.
Right.
They should have had it out there.
No way.
Yeah,
If it had been in Denver, they couldn't
They
have
should
had
have
no,
the Bud Bowl.
they wouldn't
really
have been able
should.
to have no cameras above about 20 feet above the field. It'd have been a fog.
That's true. Not with the clouds either, but
right. No, it's at the Meadowlands, and I don't know why, man. Why is that at the Meadowlands?
To get back to the true nature of outdoor football, like the first Ice Bowl in Green Bay, the first Super Bowl.
Then why didn't they have it in Green Bay?
Well, wherever it was, but it was the first.
Green Bay
Super
didn't
Bowl.
win, damn it.
Yeah, the first Super Bowl.
Neither did New Jersey or New York. You know, I mean, what? It's a Denver team and a Seattle team. Why didn't they have it in Seattle?
Well, they never did because they don't know who's going to
over New York.
They sell tickets for a year in advance. They don't know who's going to make the Super Bowl, so they can't pick the winning, the hometown, if you will. But mostly it's been in southern ones lately. But all the northern ones get fussy about it. It's a lot of revenue for the
Meadowlands in Region 3.
You know what? I think it is, now that you mention it.
Holy smokes.
Hey, there's another dot we get to put together.
Wow. I got to know that for sure. Google that.
Okay.
Is Meadowlands Stadium in FEMA region?
Well, I can look at the map.
Oh, yeah, you probably got the outline memorized, don't you? You got the double whammy. You're in FEMA region 3.
No, it's 2. It's 2.
Oh, shit. But you're living in FEMA region 3. Mm-hmm. And you're inside the 100-mile no constitution zone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was going to move 101 miles away, but
didn't get her done.
You're going to have the Border Patrol and the DHS up your ass. That's going to be fun, no doubt.
Right. Hey, I saw something else today, and I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe you can find out for me out there in the Utah mountains, because you're right next door. I heard that the Idaho National Guard has just been authorized, or either that or there's some kind of bill getting ready to go through the state House and Senate and all that shit, that's going to give the Idaho National Guard the authority to carry cuffs and sidearms and become a state patrol.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would they do that? That's actually the National Guard. Isn't it controlled or commanded, not from the state necessarily?
For natural disasters.
Well, no, I think it's the Idaho State. It's the Idaho State National Guard or the Idaho State Guard or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, but the National Guard still has a boss up in, defense land somewhere in D.C. His boss is not the governor, I don't think, is it? In the end,
I believe it is.
Could recall him whenever they went
I believe
to
it
their
is.
home state.
Yeah, because
maybe that's a defense against. They may be doing that as knowing Idaho.
What the hell, dude? You being tracked by a laser or something?
Run.
Yeah, I'm cooking.
Oh, right on.
Sorry, I'm making kale soup, pulling the bones out now.
Ooh, damn, that actually sounds pretty good.
And it's funny because I thought the National Guard was just for natural disasters and stuff like that. But when they go do their training, they're doing Iraq training when they go out and do their bivouacs every weekend, once a week. Yeah. They're not, well, we don't know that for sure. They're not out there practicing martial law that I know of.
Well, they sure went out over to Fallujah, didn't they, or Iraq, or all over the place and became policemen in Iraq, didn't they?
That's true.
National Guard units.
Oh yeah, they had every branch kind of being police officers because they had such a shortage of them because they got rid of so many security police and turned them over to all the civilians because all the police were over in Iraq. That's why all the military bases have the civilians there because all the military police were over in Iraq in the prisons and stuff, Abu Ghraib, etc.
Yep.
Training him for later abuse of the American public.
FEMA camp duty. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're fully manned.
Who are?
The FEMA camps.
No way.
They're fully manned. Not
There's
all
some
of them,
out
but
there. They may actually have duty rosters and everything ready to go out and have them done, but I know that the ones that they've converted out here are prepared. You know, they got the facility up, but they're not.
Jesse Ventura told me.
Well, I know that they've got some of them where they've actually got Mexican nationals living there, people that have been caught at the border stations or whatever that didn't get sent home yet.
Or homeless people in South Carolina.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Mm-hmm. And all of them are near trains where you can drive trains to them, from what I hear.
Well, if we could just turn the tables and do it to them, we could have a lot less energy required to bury people.
The one in southwest Indianapolis or southeast Indianapolis, a little town called Beech Grove. There's a FEMA camp there now. It's actually an old Amtrak repair station. So there's like 10 sets of tracks to go through that bad boy.
Big old switching station.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got a helipad now, and it's got all brand new buildings, big barbed wire fence around and cameras everywhere. The barbed wire face is in.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yep.
Nice, huh? Why is the barbed wire face in? That was a Halliburton job. They did it backwards. I'll be back to fix it later.
We don't know why the initial plans need to be rechanged, so we're going to have a meeting about that over the next 3 years or so and come to a discussion and contract it out and see if we can get them reversed.
We'll just put some Constantina wire on top of it since they're facing the wrong way.
Right, yeah, because that'll loop around and it'll look really pretty.
And if you ever tried climbing through Constantina wire, you ain't going to make it.
You ain't going to make it.
I don't want to try that, no thanks.
Yeah,
they call it razor wire here.
Yeah, for a reason.
Civilian people call it razor wire. It's called Constantino wire because the man that made it was, what, Andre Constantino? What the hell was his first name?
Yeah, I think so.
Constantino.
Oh, that's a person.
Constantino. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had to deploy that stuff. You got to have some pretty thick gloves when you're carrying that stuff around.
We actually, one time down in Panama, we took about 4 pounds of C4 and suspended it in a 55-gallon drum and wrapped that shit around that drum about 10,000 times, just as much wire as we could get, and set it off in the middle of the woods. Mm-hmm. And boom! And man, I mean, it cleared a ring. It was taken down. I mean, it took down trees that were a good 5 inches in diameter.
I bet it did.
Yeah, it just laid them on the ground, man. It was a nice big boom. You could have landed a helicopter in that son of a bitch.
Stuff don't rust, don't bend. It's pretty strong stuff.
And it'll cut the shit out of you, boy. Say what? What'd you say,
You're
Mike?
talking about C4?
No, the wire.
No, the Constantino wire. We wrapped it around the outside of that drum. And just boom, set it off, man. And that shit was flying everywhere, man. We were ducked down behind 2 piles of dirt and still scared to death. Yeah. We were still scared to death that shit was going to catch us, man. It was flying everywhere.
Behind a tree.
Shit, no, boy. I wasn't staying behind no tree. I was getting underneath the ground.
Back blast area clear.
There was, yeah. 360?
That's right.
We got way off on a tangent. And we still got 30 minutes left. And I can't believe you're the only one that called in, Mike. I mean, I wanted to get this kind of be a round table, but we're not really talking about burying the State of the Union, Empire, whatever.
So we talked about it for 45 minutes.
Yeah, you can only beat a dead horse for so long, yeah?
Talking about bury is, it's upsetting to my stomach, and, I kind of get a little woozy and don't.
I started to too for a minute. I was shifting around on my feet, and maybe they were hitting me with some kind of sonic weapon or something that's shooting through my window, making me feel ill.
Yeah, it's either that or
black van down the road. Let me check my driveway. I'll be right back. We grab the M4, rack around before I walk.
Yeah, well, just don't go out there and argue with him.
I don't argue.
Whatever.
I'm too old to argue. I don't argue anymore. I just throw a dog in the window.
Carry a stuffed penguin out, right?
No,
John.
sneak up behind them and stuff their tailpipe full of potato. That car.
Oh man, now we're talking. Where you go up there and you put a cable under the rear axle and tie it to the telephone pole. Remember? What was that show?
Oh yeah, that was oh man, what, Porky's? Was that Porky's? No.
May have been.
No, the chain on the axle, that was
that was a boat in Porky's. They pulled the Porky's 3. They pulled the whorehouse that was on the river down.
That's right. The chain in the axle was
one of those shows anyway. Long time ago.
Animal House.
Animal House. Okay.
Yep, Animal House.
You win.
With the float. With the float. Yeah, pulled the float away.
Yep. Well, no. Didn't they hook up a police car? Didn't they hook up a cop car to a pole and it was chasing somebody down the road and split in half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Went off. I can't remember what the show was. I just remember this kid. See how easy it is to go off on a tangent. It's ridiculous.
I miss John Belushi. He's a good tangent. That guy was funny as hell.
Blues Brothers, still one of the best movies ever.
Yeah. Well, his whole genre of movies was just some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know. He did one called Continental Divide where he was clean and sober through the whole movie. It was right after he went to rehab and all that bullshit and he was doing some
worst movie ever made.
No, it was the best movie I have ever seen by John.
Oh, that's funny.
You need to go Google it or watch it on Netflix or whatever, Continental Divide. It's really, really, really good. So that's just my little blurb for today. But anyway.
Belushi and who was the other guy? Not Farley, but no, come on.
Aykroyd?
Yeah, that was a good show. It was a good show.
Blues Brothers was hilarious, man.
Oh yeah.
Every time they come out on Saturday Night Live was just the best. You know, if you saw Aykroyd walk out with his harmonica in his hand and shit and his sunglasses on, you knew they were getting ready to go live.
Aykroyd still does harmonica and shows up with people occasionally.
Yep.
He's got some licks. He really's got some licks. He's a talented man. He is.
So
I don't like him as an actor all that much, but as a musician, I really respect him better.
Hey, according to Mae Brussels, they clipped Belushi. I don't know why. Why would they want to do that? You know, he wasn't speaking out on nothing. Why would they clip Belushi?
Maybe he just wouldn't conform. You never know.
I don't know. Maybe Mae was crazy.
Mae Brussels?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been trying to warn us for a long time. Yeah, she's been trying to warn us for a long time.
Her and Bill Cooper would have done a great show together, man. Mm-hmm. If her and Bill Cooper would have hooked up, they'd have done a great show together.
Yep.
I think they probably would have thought each other was batshit crazy, but that would have been a good show.
Tinfoil hat round table.
Mm-hmm. The collection of crayon eaters.
And it's too difficult for me to try to pour this broth out with one hand. It's difficult.
Well, you can set us down, dude. You know, the phone lays down.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to set it down for a minute.
All right. You got to love Mike. He's a great caller. He's great.
Hey, I smoked, I turned on the smoker today and smoked 4 chicken quarters out there in the 6 inches of snow today.
That sounds like good. I mean, did you melt out a nice big area with the smoker going on and everything?
Underneath of it, yeah. It was green grass underneath of it.
Sweet. Was the dogs out there licking up all the drippings?
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't drip, but when I was spilling stuff, it does.
Yeah. I know you'd spill.
Oh, yeah.
So you bummed out that the old man had to wait a week to go get the...
Hell yes. Yeah, because he was supposed to be driving back today because I'm actually going to meet him out at Emporia on 95 and swap vehicles with him and bring it back, and he's just going to head on back to D.C., so
cool.
Going to get it next week. He's going down Monday and then coming back Wednesday.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be all giddy when you come to the show next week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll have pictures. We got our aprons with our names embroidered on it and everything else.
Smokes. Holy smoke'ems. I gotta start saying that now. Holy smoke'ems. So where's my bacon?
It's curing. I still got it curing. It takes about 6 days, 7 days to cure. What I took a picture of you was 4 days ago? 5. Yeah, nice. It's ready. It's ready to be smoked. I can do it tomorrow.
Nice. That shit was the best, dude.
This will be my alderwood salt cured bacon.
Cool. That sounds even better.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right.
I still like Boiler Room, but that sounds good.
I'll make you some of that. I'll make you a smaller chunk of that.
You don't have to. I mean, I'll take, like if you got new recipes or whatever, I'll be your guinea pig.
I am always trying.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's going to take off like mad.
I can't. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Not mad cow disease, but yeah.
No. Mad pig. H1N1.
That's right. Well, chicken's one of my ingredients too, and
we don't serve swine flu.
China just killed
they 400,000
chickens or something.
They were talking about on Jules' show this morning, man.
Were they?
The cull has begun. Yeah, they sold off a bunch of cattle really early on the West Coast too, out in Cali.
Really?
And I saw another blurb, and I mentioned this in the chat room earlier today on Jules' show, that I saw a blurb that said that like 90% of the produce that's coming out of California is radiated, and they can prove it. So, heads up, people. You might want to look at your produce the next time you go to buy it. Maybe take your Geiger counter with you when you go to the store. Just a heads up,
But what you gonna do?
Grow your own?
Well, in the middle of winter?
Yeah, greenhouses.
You gonna starve yourself while you're waiting 8 weeks on your stuff to grow? If you hadn't already started to grow, as I say, if you haven't already started to grow it, what's our alternative option?
Boxes, man. You can, buy yourself a Phototron, sit in the corner of the room, grow a big stack of potatoes. There's ways of everything. Oh, come on.
You're not growing some things indoors. I'm telling you right now.
Closet gardener.
You're not getting. Some things just don't go well.
You trying to tell me if you got some sodium vapor lights and a good big box of soil and closed off a closet in your bedroom or something that you couldn't grow a little garden in there?
I mean, they grow some great weed inside, so
you could probably grow enough to fill your lungs, but probably not to fill your stomach.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
No, but this is all about prepping. This whole network's all about heads up, people. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Heads up, people.
Somebody wants you to drop the link on that story if you got it.
Actually, it was a blurb on Facebook. If I can find it, I'll drop it in chat some other, maybe on Friday. Remind me, but I don't have it at my fingertips. Sorry. It was just a blurb. I kind of grab things as I'm going through the day and make sure that I bring them up. I jot them down on a piece of paper. So didn't jot down the link, just jotted down the info. Sorry. Whoopsie. It happens. What do you got, Mike? You got anything interesting going on over there? I can't believe nobody else has called to talk about POTUS.
POTUS, piece of turd.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, whatever. I have nothing but disdain for the whole political system. And so actually picking through the pile of crap to find a specifically shaped turd is not my idea of fun. So I try to stay away from that.
It didn't necessarily have to be about POTUS. I was just making that comment about the callers. But
okay. I can talk about almost
you got anything
else
news?
I don't listen.
What's going on with the chem planes? Are they still flying overhead? They still taking off?
Yeah, they're flying, but we've had a lot of their heavy lift aircraft, the KC-135s, the old Hercules, the tankers and the heavy lifts, the C-17s, have been flying nonstop for I don't know how long. And so they're doing something. I don't know.
Now, are they going out and coming back the same day, or do you see them come back, or you only see the exit pattern, or what?
I'm only seeing them leave. They may be landing because, it's a good-sized base.
Right.
So they could be coming in
That's what I mean. If they come in on a
direction.
different pattern, they don't come in over the top of your house. They only go out.
No, they only go out.
Right.
So it's
Because if they were
rare.
headed
I see.
for,
In fact, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if they were headed for Afghanistan or something like that, they were going to be gone for a while.
Yeah, I can't see that, but they go so low over my house, I can tell. Actually, now I can tell what the plane is by the sound of their engines. It doesn't matter what the jet is. They all sound different.
Play it by ear. That's cool.
Well, yeah, they throttle back at different times, so it's pretty standard. They reach a certain airspeed and they throttle back, and all the engines have this different sound when they do that. Every single one of them does. Real interesting.
Can I share with you something on chemtrails that I find interesting?
Yeah.
I tried talking to people. I noticed you posted a video on Facebook that showed a picture of a plane flying through the air.
Yep.
And the condensation trail disappeared after about, 45 seconds maybe?
Well, about 10 lengths of the plane.
Yeah, which is what it should happen. Yeah. So, I tried talking to people.
It's called a contrail.
Right. And I tried talking to people about, like my dad, hey, that's a chemtrail because a contrail disappears after a amount of time. So what do most people do and then you tell them, look, go investigate a little bit. So where's the first place they go? Wiki.
Google.
Well, most people go to Wiki and they'll pull it up. You go to Wiki and type in chemtrail, and the only thing that pops up, chemtrail conspiracy theory, is the only thing that drops up on Wikipedia.
Well, yeah, but
nothing about it for real, but most people will.
You can change that on Wiki.
I don't, but the average sheeple is going to go here, see this. It's one of those crazy conspiracy theories. I knew that guy didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and then go back to watching Honey Boo Boo.
This is why Dane is so adamant about saying geoengineering or aerosol spraying or something, anything other than chemtrail.
It's more accurate.
Because the name has been tainted with these associations, and so it's important that we use these words when we're speaking to people who are either neophytes, they don't know, don't believe, or whatever, because it does. It's not crazy, but they have made that particular word, chemtrail conspiracy. So I used geoengineering or aerosol or high altitude aerosol spraying, whatever.
Well, then I just went to geoengineering and put that in Wiki and Googled it, and it's telling you it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's, working in areas, mechanics, mathematics, physics, chemistry. They're all used to understand and shape our interaction with the earth. So again, anybody, a sheeple that's not going to go outside the box is just, you have nothing here in Wiki, and a lot of people use that as the end all of all. It's like Snopes. Snopes is full of crap. It's just a husband and wife team that have as much research ability as you and I.
Now type into that Wiki, high altitude aerosolization or aerosol spraying. See what you find. I can hear him typing. Nothing. Well, we all need to go
we
Wiki
know
bomb.
it exists, but since it's not in the Wiki, then it must mean it's actively being suppressed.
Why don't we all go and Wiki bomb the chemtrailing page and start putting up facts?
I put this high altitude aerosol spray and then it directed me to solar radiation management.
There it is.
Global warming proposed examples include the creation of stratospheric sulfur aerosols. So it directed me
there we go.
Ding.
Half honest. See, what they're doing is doing it anyway and admitting that they are talking about doing it, or they might do it.
But you got to really get specific to try to find your information.
But then the second link down is chemtrail conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have to. but they did admit that it's possible. Read this article; they'll say it'd be cheap. They know that it'll do it. It's effective. So they'll already start talking about the benefits of it.
What's Kevin Bryant say every Tuesday? They'll call you conspiracy theorist.
Well, didn't Mythbusters, they had started doing a show on it? Oh, no, that was the RFID chip, and then they shut them down. Never mind. Yeah.
There was a chemtrailing show on Discovery, wasn't there? I know they probably spewed a bunch of lies about it, but I know I saw something about that.
Oh, you can go to YouTube, and there was actually a local news anchor station, weatherman.
He started talking about chaff.
Started talking about it and everything else. And
chaff, though.
Yeah, and one person was awake, and he just kind of shut him down.
It's just so sad, man. These people are just so sad. I mean, if you can't see when you look up the geometric patterns that they leave in the sky, if you don't know by the time you're 30-something years old that clouds don't form a lenticular line unless there's a front coming through, that's just, wow.
People don't want to know. It's not that they're stupid. It's not anything.
They're apathetic. I don't call it stupid anymore. I call it
difficult. Come on,
completely apathetic. You can't be stupid and have a cell phone. If you've got a smartphone in your hand and you choose to be stupid, that's apathy to me, because you've got more technology in the palm of your hand than it took to go to the moon. If they went to the moon. But you know what I mean? There's no excuse for being stupid other than apathy. Not giving a shit whether or not you know what's going on around you. And to not be aware, what kind of way is
choice?
Yeah. Whatever.
But the government's aware for me. I don't need to be aware. I just believe what they tell me. Come on. They wouldn't lie to me, would they? They have my best interests at heart.
Well, they're putting drones out to protect me, too.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see, the politician stuff. I thought that I had saw that there was 150 of them. They found them dead. Frozen along the Gulf Coast.
Politicians dead?
Well, I saw the article. It said frozen sharks, and I thought they were talking. Then I read it. It was actually real sharks. I thought they were talking about bankers and politicians found dead on the beach, but no, it wasn't. It was actually sharks.
That was from that Arkansas website,
Rock City Times.
Yeah, Rock City Times.
It's a satire.
It's
a satire one.
150 sharks found frozen to death in Florida because of the cold snap.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It was.
The Photoshop on the picture was just hilarious.
Made my day.
You should have seen, Mike, you should have seen the Photoshop picture. It was hilarious. It was Jaws frozen in a block of ice sitting on the beach. It was funny.
You wouldn't believe the number of people that passed around as real.
Yeah. Prepper Chicks put it out. Everybody was like, this is satire. This is satire. She's like, I know it's satire. Don't lose your sense of humor, people.
Yeah, exactly. Coming from the man that posts Onion stuff on his
hey, that's Roxy.
Facebook page.
I like the Onion, man. The Onion's funny. If you go to their website, if you go to their YouTube channel and watch some of the clips that they make,
that's hilarious.
Oh my God,
they spend so much time on those videos. I mean, they're so well done.
Yes. It looks. I mean,
I've never seen their YouTube.
You could.
I didn't know they had it.
Yeah, go to the Onion. Just go to YouTube and type in the Onion. It'll take you right to their home. You would mistake it for actual news broadcast.
You would, and it's amazing the number of people that do mistake it for real news.
Yeah, very funny.
Oh,
yeah, because the news is so ridiculous now. The real news,
The real news ain't real. Come on, man. It's just the
cops
news.
killed Chihuahua's an 80-year-old woman. and drug raid gone bad. Really?
Well, the best one that I saw was that they're going to order Justin Bieber to go fight with the Ukrainians against their government, so the news would cover actual real news.
That was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious.
It was.
I saw somebody post on Facebook last night, if Ron Burgundy's not covering the POTUS event, I'm not watching it.
Oh, God.
That would be hilarious for him to do that. Will Ferrell should do a Ron Burgundy spoof covering the presidential State of the Union or something. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, like the, we're going to do prudent drone control. Yeah, I'd say the 4,000 people that you killed by drones would beg to differ.
Right. So the next time you go to a wedding party, watch the F out.
Or a funeral, that's...
Yeah, they hit funerals
bad or
too.
worse.
Yeah. I think they've actually hit a school and a church parking lot over in Afghanistan with one. Again, I don't know. Here's something else, man, just because we're down to the last, 9 minutes here? 8 minutes. The war in Afghanistan. Look. That is a little tiny ass country. Okay. And there's not very many people there. Now, granted, it's very rough terrain, but we claim to have the number one military force on the planet. Now, if you can't round up a bunch of Al-Qaeda, quote unquote, doing air quotes, in 10 years in that little bitty country, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Opium. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. I know you.
Opium.
I know. I'm just speaking as a devil's advocate. I know what's going on over there. I'm completely aware of everything that's happening. I'm not a thick ass crayon eater. I'm just saying, just to try to break it down to the sheep, right? Just in case one of them happen to tune in tonight. 10 years. The country is what? The size of New Jersey? I'm thinking, I don't know.
Oh, no.
It might be a little
bigger than that. Yeah,
okay.
It's much bigger than that. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Still.
I think maybe the Pashtun homeland in the top of those things, maybe.
It's probably
this is the same fighting force that went from the coast to Baghdad in 3 days, right? Okay. Same fighting force, right? Okay. So, give me a break, people.
It's because they honestly,
wars
don't
are
want
banks.
to win.
Wars
Why
are banks. Wars are banks.
Yeah, there's no
That's all they
profit
are.
in
They're
peace,
banks.
brother. Yeah, there's no profit in peace.
Okay. I'm done.
Besides, you're going to grow the heroin for the Bush family.
Exactly. Opium production has
I mean,
gone
you
up
gotta get it somewhere,
700%.
And the Burma connection's been all taken over by the Chinese Tong. So,
Syria's next. Just wait. I mean, our next false flag will be blamed on them. They already attacked the CNN website. They attacked the Syrian electronic army. So they can get out there and postulate, the Syrian army attacked us.
Yeah.
They don't have to elaborate that it was the Syrian electronic army that attacked a website at the news station, but hey, attacking's
Syrian
attacking.
electronic army.
Yeah,
They're probably all trained in the United States and went to one of these universities and got recruited.
They'll hack into the
Jesus
Jumbotron
Christ.
during the Super Bowl.
They'll turn the cameras away from that. So unless you're there, you're not going to see that one.
Right.
They don't even show streakers anymore at baseball games, man.
No.
Do people still streak?
Hell yeah, every game, but they don't show them. You got to go to YouTube to see that.
Really?
Well, not every game, but it happens a couple times a season. But even the announcers mention it because they don't want to give that. If they figure they ignore them, people stop doing it.
Huh?
Right.
Right. Kind of like a fart in the elevator. If you ignore it, it'll go away.
Well, it'd be kind of like the government. I wish you could ignore them and they'd go away.
No, they're like a tumor. They just grow and grow and grow and grow and consume you. I think I got a tumor. It's called DC.
And the government, anytime someone says the government this and that, I try to explain. The government isn't what you think. The government is a conglomeration of puppets that are run by these corporate interests. And
yeah, and you know what I'm told when I say that? People have a hard time understanding that every single person they vote into office has a bigger boss than you. And it's a bank or another country like Israel, or maybe it's just simply who's ever put. They don't even know who's pulling their strings, except they were told that if they didn't, that these certain pictures are going to get sent to the newspapers, and if they did, they're going to get an extra $10,000 fund and a trip to somewhere else. Mm.
That's how all of it works. I know how that's how it works. And then, only one side or the other. Well, as long as you promote this, you're doing good. And the guy says, well, I don't like drugs, so I can go ahead with this draconian 3 strikes thing. And then somebody else says, oh man, I don't like guns, so I can go ahead with this gun confiscation thing, It'll pass in my district.
I don't remember voting on none of that shit.
They erode you.
I don't remember them asking me my opinion on any of that shit. A lot of these laws that we're trying to abide by were written before we were ever born.
And
what were you going to say, Lance?
Well, since you brought up the gun thing, and I like the SAFE Act, in the Connecticut one, what was it? 300,000 people registered their guns out of 1 million something. I remember hearing that on the Hyper Report last week. How much you want to bet that every single person in that line was a voting Democrat person in that line?
And they were going to offer amnesty for anybody that didn't turn them in, so they could come turn them in and not get in trouble.
And I'm sure nobody took them up on that offer either.
Nope. Look, okay, we're down to the last couple of minutes, and this is what I'm going to leave everybody with, and then we'll go to Mike, and then we'll go to Lance. This is my leave you with it for the day. If government is the answer, it was a stupid question. Mike?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a question I didn't freaking ask, for one, and they're not doing me any good because they don't freaking do my dishes, and,
Right.
There are some things that government needs, we need some government, but don't need them to.
We need rules. We don't need rulers.
I don't really need them to do my dishes.
Lance, what do you got for everybody?
The people that look to DC to fix their problems, they're looking at the problem.
Yeah, they're part of the problem. Hell, hey, Mike, thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate it. You always make outstanding comments, and you're just a hell of a nice guy. Can't wait till you get your show.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thanks, Lance. We'll talk to you later, too. See you on Friday, everybody. UCY.TV. Hang out for the Anti-Media Radio next. Nick Burnaby. See ya.